Call regular council meeting July 15th at 7 o'clock to order. Additions to the agenda? Let it show there be no additions to the agenda. Citizen comments? Let it show there be no citizen comments. EVH Engineering bids for 5th Street project. I think what
So
we're
there
talking
is,
about between 4th and 5th.
yep, so this is the Santa Fe between 4th Street and 5th Street. Joel had emailed that over, of how much it's gonna cost. And the price is, the contractor is honoring the price of everything. It's the same price,
Materials?
yep,
Oh.
it's the same price of what he bid for the whole 5th Street. So, I just wanted to see if you guys are interested in, adding that to the current project. I put a little summary of how much we have and how much we're expecting it to spend. I know that the contractor bid like $939,000, but I know that, you know, something's gonna happen to where it's gonna cost more than that. So I was planning on maybe giving like budgeting $1 million for the main 5th Street, and then we still leave it like a little 200, like a little over 200,000 to, you know, for everything else that we need. So this could be one of those if you guys decide to do it. So
Yes.
I think otherwise it's gonna get torn up from the dirt road to.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
it would
asphalt.
be a random dirt road, a little lower.
It makes sense to just go ahead and do it while they're doing everything else.
Yeah.
so I
Do you
just,
need a motion?
yes, please.
Make a motion to accept, the bid to pay Santa Fe along with 5th Street, in the amount of $85,413.40.
Second.
Got a motion on the table by Aaron Gleason and a second by Mark Grant. Any more discussion on the, between the 4th and 5th Street bid? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0. Let it show. And that's passed. Consent agenda. Entertain a motion to approve the regular council meeting of July 1st, 2025.
Make a motion to approve regular council meeting minutes July 1st, 2025.
Motion by Mark Bryant, second by Aaron Raines. Any more discussion? All in favor? Passes 5-0. I'd entertain a motion for appropriation ordinance 07-15-2025 for the amount of $31,664.46.
Make a motion to approve appropriation ordinance number 07152025 in the amount of $31,664.46.
Second.
Motion on the table by Mark Bryant, second by Aaron Raines. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0. Entertain a motion for petty cash, $225.
Make a motion to approve petty cash in the amount of $225 even.
Second.
Motion on the table by Mark, second by Aaron Raines. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0. Department heads, electric department, Curtis.
Just been working on maintenance of circuits and getting the motors ready for capacity test for Midwest Energy.
Council got any questions for Curtis?
Nope.
Guess you're off the hook, Curtis. Water sewer, Jason.
Well, I don't have anything.
Council got any comments or questions for Jason?
I just saw that you went to training. What was that about? Something on the expense sheet?
Wastewater, his license, he needs some
Oh.
hours.
Need to get a couple more hours in there before I can get my license done.
Cool. I was just curious what it was.
Anything on the street and park, Jason?
No, we just getting, waiting on some black stuff to hit the ground so we can start milling some road.
What about the dehydrator?
It's not very new business.
Good business.
Oh, it's new business? Okay.
We're good.
Police chief, Mike.
The only thing I have for the police department is Greg started working some nights. He isn't officially done with his other job. His last day is Friday, so Monday he'll start full time, but he wanted to pick up a few nighttime shifts, so he's been working the last couple of weeks. I think he worked 3 days last week, he'll work 3 days this week. So.
Cool. Thanks.
Council got any questions for police chief? Moving on, Mike, you got anything for the fire department?
Yeah, I need to remove Patrick Nemick and Patrick Nemick Senior from the fire department.
I'd make a motion to remove Patrick Nemick Senior and Patrick Nemick from the fire department.
Second.
Got a motion on the table by Kyle, second by Mark, Alan, or Aaron. Gleason, all in favor?
What's the reason?
What's the reason?
They moved out of town.
Oh, okay.
Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0. Anything else, Mike?
That's it.
Okay, City Clerk, Pam?
Is the 2 dates that I put on my report will work for you guys as far as meeting with Greg about the electric rates?
Isn't it the 23rd? 22nd? It'll work for me.
23rd.
Either one of those will work for me.
Yes.
Yeah,
It has to be a special meeting.
Yes.
Yeah, it does have to.
Yes. Yep. It'll have to be. It's which day?
I can't be here the 22nd, if that makes a difference.
Okay.
I've got another meeting that night.
23rd, 23rd.
That's fine.
Okay, 23rd.
You say 23rd?
He did say that he wants to apologize for not being able to make it today. It was an emergency for his family, so, but I will have a summary of this rate study for you guys to look. He'll throw a lot of numbers at you, at the meeting, so we're working on a little summary to help shorten the meeting for you guys, so, but,
That's 7 p.m. naturally, right?
yes, yep, 23rd at 7. That's really all I have, if you guys don't have any other questions for me.
Is there anything we should be worried about the contractor getting his bond?
No,
Okay.
no. It's just standard procedures that we have to get for that big of a job, so.
Any questions for Pam other than what she's talked about? Danny?
Okay, I had kind of some language for a ballot question on the 1% sales tax. I don't know if you want to take that up at the new business of that part. And then Pam sent proposed ordinance on the electric rates that I looked at. On that, he sent with us an email, an agreement between the Kansas municipalities and the state legislature on the cogeneration, that exists and that our code needs to match up with that.
Yes.
Has he sent you a copy of that?
He's working on that,
Okay.
yeah.
I think it makes sense to do it all at once at
Together.
that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll make sure that we have that ready for next week's meeting as well. I sent it that along with that first ordinance, but she got that done. The other one, he was in a meeting and then he has a family emergency. She wants to get his final approval before she sent it to me, so.
Okay. That answers that. And then so what this is, the statute tells us how to do this down the bottom, and then there's, if we set it up as a general purpose sales tax, it'd be the top paragraph, and then a special purpose paragraph would be the bottom. I think it makes more sense to do a general purpose. The special ends after 10 years. I think the bond project, the school bonds, intended to go longer than 10 years on the repayment. So it would make sense to sync up that timeline together, put in as general that continues
What did you guys decide on your meeting? You going forward, the school board,
They did vote
They did vote last night.
in the affirmative?
17.9.
17.9 with the plan. I mean, that's not a final plan. I don't know exactly how the question reads, but
You're going ahead with it?
yeah, they're
Okay.
going ahead with 17.9. So, yeah, nothing has changed since we talked about that piece of it.
And then I left the blanks in there. You guys talk about what percentage of the 1% would go to the city, what would go to the school issue. And then I think on the school end, we'd want to, right now I've got is for the construction improvement of school, public school facilities, any financing thereof, any other general lawful purpose. I think we'd want to maybe narrow that down or match up whatever bond, if it's got a purpose, sync it up with that, so we're saying the same thing in this one.
So the Weeds and Company, they hire, they have an attorney or do the language, right, Aaron? The language for the question,
For this question?
for the
For the bond
bond
question.
question.
Right. Then they approved that last night.
They did have their language.
Yeah, I think so. But I don't have that language. But I think that was what they approved last night, was to put that specific language on the ballot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything that would need to match their language or any?
I wouldn't think so.
I think the part that I'd like, and I highlighted on mine, is this line here. I'd like to match that up with it, and then match the time frame on, however long it's going to take them to pay off the bond. Because aren't they wanting this to go towards those payments?
Yes. Yeah. So I want it to expire
So-
when that expires.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah, which I think estimated is 25 years, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
I think that's what
Right.
they passed.
Did they pass
I mean,
25?
I called Trey and he said they passed it as it is.
Okay.
They didn't make any changes. So, and that's what they've been discussing was 25 years.
If we could just get a copy of that, it would be pretty easy to sync this up with that. Really the only downside to doing the general is you're limited to a total of 2% general sales tax for the city, and then 1% for special.
And our current sales tax is a general
Is a general. So if we do 1% on this, that would be maxed out until that one
for 1 year.
is, But all that means is if you want to do another 1% sales tax, it would have to be a special.
Remind me how we did the grocery store. So we had a contract with the grocery store that was $50,000 a year. Did it say 50,000 on the ballot question, or did it just say for general purposes and for economic development?
This was
I think it's
this
like
was the
for the
ordinance.
infrastructure
It's
and
mainly
the-
just general purposes,
Yeah.
including
Very general.
I
And
think
the
the
council
city amount.
decided on the $50,000, or that was part of the plan, but I don't know that it was.
So they didn't even mention the grocery store in the question.
But we had a contract with the grocery store
Yeah,
stating
yeah.
it was 50,000. With the grocery store, with economic development.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was, the payment goes to economic development.
Yeah.
I'll say.
And that terminates in 27, I think.
Yeah.
ordinance says when it takes effect. It doesn't say when it doesn't have an end date on it.
question did that, didn't it?
Yeah, the agreement between us and Diego Devo for the 50,000 is dated 10 years from the signing date, so it'll be in 27.
But the ordinance that put the sales tax in doesn't have an end date in it.
But I think the ballot question did.
We'll have to check on that.
I mean, if it didn't, after the contract with economic development ends, that sales tax is still in place, and the city can put that towards any project that fits economic development, city infrastructure, or general services in the city. Which, we looked at it, there was an AG's opinion that said what falls within economic development is pretty broad. If the city council determines helping out the local public schools is in the city's economic best interest, likely that would be upheld if that's what the city did with it.
So it doesn't automatically expire after 10 years?
A special one would.
A special one would automatically be 10 years, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's for sure not a special.
Sounds like it's general purpose.
There's also a TIF.
That TIF, I believe, expired in 10 years. Well, set at 10 years, or it's,
I think that was,
yeah, it's expired in 27 too, I think, for the TIF.
I think this is a general, looking at it, not a special. Now, if the ballot question said something different.
So
It
how
says in
does
the
that work?
resolution, in resolution 2016-07. It says in section 2 of the resolution that shall be levied in the city of St. John, Kansas to take effect January 1st, 2017 or as soon thereafter as such tax may be levied by the Kansas Department of Revenue. It shall be collected for a period of 10 years from the effective date of the retailer sales tax. So the resolution that was passed in 2016 specified 10 years.
Where'd you find that, Aaron?
It was emailed to me by the contractor for the school board.
Okay.
Because the ordinance, it's ordinance number 1039, but that's the resolution they passed was resolution 2016-07.
And the resolution was to put it on the ballot.
Do you want me to print out that copy for you?
If you have it, that would be great.
Yeah, so that's right. Yep, the resolution was to put it on the ballot. And the ballot question was, shall the retailer's sales tax in the amount of 1% be levied in the city of St. John to take effect on January 1st, 2017? And then it shall be collected for a period of 10 years.
And that was on the ballot
And
question.
that was on the ballot question.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm okay now.
Okay.
Do you always leave as amended question mark on the end of ballot questions? Because it was like that on this one too.
So the question's one big long run-on sentence. Yes, the question mark goes to the as amended, to go into the statute, saying statute KSA 12-187 as it's amended, because those get updated
Okay.
each year.
I got you.
So that, and I'm not great with punctuation, so that comma may be supposed to be somewhere else, or comma before, I don't.
That's how the one for 2017 reads. So
But,
I just didn't know what that was. Gotcha.
But if you look at a lot of statutes and cite other statutes, they'll cite to this statute as amended.
Oh, it's the question mark is for the whole
For
sentence.
the whole sentence.
It's not as amended.
No.
I was like, okay, because it's one sentence.
It's supposed to
One-
be, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely not how you would speak, but it's one sentence. Okay.
So what, yeah, what it should be, basically shall the city of St. John be authorized to impose a 1% sales tax as described below, like question mark, and then you can put it
Describe
make it-
below,
yeah,
make
but it seems
clear,
like all
but
of
that's how it
the-
is in balance, just the way it is.
Yeah.
That'd be too simple.
So you're not wanting us to vote on this tonight, are you?
No, I'll bring, I'll clean it up and get, what I'd like to know tonight is one, you guys wanna do it. I think general's better than special. And then what percentage to the school, what percentage to the city? And to me, it makes sense to sync it up where they run the same
So
time.
do we need to vote on that though?
No, I think you can tell me, bring a resolution that says this. Resolution, I'd bring that, you guys can vote on that.
Well, I think either 85, 15 or 90, 10. 85 to 90 goes school, the city retain the difference.
Yeah, I'm fine with as much as possible because it's coming out of our pockets either way. If it passes.
Fine, the contractor has told us we're topped out at 90%. He thought that was a statute, but
They
he
didn't.
never found that.
He didn't, and even their financial advisor,
Yeah.
not Kyle.
But he said lacrosse, he felt like, right? It
He
was
said he remembered
lacrosse.
something at lacrosse that it had to be 90, but their advisor that put together the levy numbers, he said, I don't think there is. I don't think there's a reason it can't be more. But
I'll look again, I haven't found anything that,
Yeah, I don't know. He just remembered us something that they were topped out at 90.
I couldn't find that, and then like I said, the one Attorney General's opinion that I found on it, I think you guys have a lot of discretion with what you do with it. And then a lot of it too is controlled by what's in the ballot question, so if he said this percent's going to the school, people vote yes in favor of that. I think that's pretty safe. But I'll double check.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's not an attorney, so, but
No,
he just
but-
remembered something, and I don't know what that was.
yeah, I would confirm that. Yeah, my opinion would be to do the general, and as much as possible goes to the school district, because if the bond passes, as a taxpayer in the city of St. John, we're on the hook for the amount that the bond is, and if as much of it can go to sales tax as possible, then that's less that goes on to property taxes, and it spreads it out to people going through town. So if that's 90%, that's 90, and it's 85, it's 85. But if it's 100%, I'd be fine with 100% personally, just because the citizens are on the hook for the money that's being passed on the bond issue, and this spreads it out just a little bit. So that's my opinion. Do you think this reads enough that it only passes if the bond passes? I think it needs to be clear that they could vote yes on this, and if the bond doesn't pass, then this would just be null and void.
We hadn't mentioned that much. last week, or the last
Yeah.
meeting.
I don't know that it's,
I think if I get their language that they use, then in that part,
You'll
Try to
want
reference
figure
it.
out the years too,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah, maybe try to match some of that
Yeah.
language.
you know, I think the language might be to, because really it'd be to finance the bond payments.
maybe this is convoluting the waters too much, but could you leave it out and not specify percentages and say 1% to the city of St. John for purposes of funding general services cities, including but not limited to economic development projects and city infrastructure, and to United School District 350 for the construction and improvement of public school facilities. And if the bond issue doesn't pass, then we would have the authority as a council, we would have to give some to the school district out of that 1% over 25 years. But if the bond issue doesn't pass, you could say we're giving $5,000 to the city, or to the school district for, that goes to their building fund or whatever. And then we would still have a 1% sales tax for general purposes for the city. And then if a bond issue passes in 5 years, we would still have 20 years that says we can give as much of that as we want to the city, or to the school. And at that point, as a council, you could pass an ordinance that 90% goes, or we could sign a contract with the school that says $85,000 a year goes to the school for that bond. You could, instead of having it be nailed down to a T, and then it passes, but the bond issue doesn't pass, and then it just goes away. If you have enough momentum to pass a 1%, you would have the flexibility to give all of it, or a high percentage of it if the bond issue does pass, or just give a very minuscule amount every year and have a 1% general fund for the city.
And that's how the grocery store did it.
Yeah, because the grocery store was
Broad.
just a 1% for
And then they
city
decided
infrastructure.
the 50,000 after it was passed.
Probably a bad idea. I mean, it's
But I
gonna
think-
have to do it again in a couple of years.
But I think you have to say that some of it, if you don't nail down the exact percentage, you still have to say it's for that. And every year you'd have to give to the USD 350 out of that fund for it to be appropriate on the question.
Are you, how much sales tax are you going to end up with if the bond issue doesn't pass? Because I mean, you could, the grocery store is about up. You always have a question to extend that one, and then include that more general language that you're talking about, to where if the bond issue doesn't pass, then ask to extend the current 1% sales tax with the added part that some can go to the schools, or you want to have 2% city sales tax total out there.
Well, the 2% would only be for a year, and then you would just be replacing the 1%. Which
Bond would expire.
I just thought of that, and I'd have to think on it more of what my full opinion is of doing that, because on the flip side, if the bond issue passes and the more vague language passes of this, it would be up to the council, which is up to the council right now, but if you passed a resolution that 90% of that goes to the school for the bond issue, then you would be up to, in 5 years, we have a completely different council, and they go, why are we giving the school 90,000? And then the citizens who thought their 1% was going to the school, all of a sudden on a vote, changes, and they're only gonna get 10% of it when they were getting 90%, because we made the language vague in the ballot question.
Yeah, I think you match it as much as school. If it doesn't pass, then the city has another conversation when the current one expires.
Okay, sure.
It's just my
Yeah.
thought that way. I think being clear to the public that the bond question and this are
For Todd.
together,
Yeah.
I think makes it clear. I don't know, just makes it to where
Seems
no
more
one's
transparent,
confused.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're voting,
They're voting for exactly.
but I see where,
Those are
what,
good points.
yeah, cause it's,
I'm
there's more
this is conversation.
flexibility
Yeah.
with, if we did it that way. But as councils interchanged, you could pass a new resolution and vote
And then
not to give the
boom,
money.
And then everybody's mill's
And
go up
then
4
everyone's-
points or whatever.
That's
because
the
it's
thing that
not- yeah.
I think would be the big downfall potentially.
Mhm.
And then the voters are like, well, why are my taxes up? I voted on the 1%
Right,
with a misunderstanding, I guess.
yeah. No, I
Would be
agree.
the negative.
Being as clear as possible saves it from future councils changing their mind.
And how much, what's our time constraint we're dealing with?
I think
Well,
we need,
we need
to
to
get-
vote for sure by the first meeting in August.
first meeting in August was kind of the cutoff. I mean, you talked to county clerk about exactly how late they're willing to add something to the
Yeah,
ballot.
I was
but-
thinking
I think, I mean, if we,
come
if we come to a conclusion on percentages and get the information of the bond question that was passed for the school, it's something we could do at the special meeting next
Yeah.
week.
That's true.
Yeah, this is true.
Just have to add it to the agenda, just let me
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, that won't, that's not a problem having that ready as long as we've
Okay.
got,
The language.
yeah.
I'll
get
get it
the
to you
school.
tomorrow.
Okay.
I mean, to be on the safe side, I'd be okay with 90%, 10%.
I think it's good that the city retains some of it for general use, I guess. But
Yeah.
I also see if you had it all, it's just less, they're gonna have to levy.
It's taking money from this pocket of the citizens and this one, it's
Yeah.
paying for it either way.
Yeah.
I feel like I've talked a lot.
Yeah,
You guys
have a lot of good
similar,
information.
I mean, you guys opposed to 90%? Feel good about it?
No, I think it's a good idea. I think, yeah, like Aaron said, you brought up a lot of good points, both you and Kyle did, and I think that what you're talking about is appropriate. I mean, we're gonna be, as citizens, we're gonna be on the hook regardless, so yeah.
They just get it written up and see. Move it.
And ultimately, the taxpayer's gonna vote for it. So
Yeah.
absolutely.
we just are approving the ballot question.
That's right, I think you just get something out there and it'll be decided one way or another.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
not on the 5 of us to decide, it's
Be on the
the
field.
whole community.
Right.
What is is there, when we put a ballot issue like this out there, are there any restrictions on, as a council, how much we can campaign to get the word out and like
Like promoted?
promoting a yes vote for something like this? Is there a ethical?
I don't think we can promote it. I think it's citizens
I mean, we
probably
can answer
could.
questions about why we're putting it on there, but
Yeah, it'd be a good question for the ethics office. I know, like,
Running for an election.
if you run for an election, you can campaign on your personal time. You can't do it like on your work time for the city. But
You should research that because just,
yeah.
I
mean,
I would think that you could, because if you're doing this council, you're doing it because you think it's in the city's best interest, and so you should be able to go out and explain that.
yeah.
This is why we're doing it. This is why we think it's important. It's not.
I guess I only asked because it came up at the school board that, like, there's the building committee, and the building committee is gonna be campaigning, you know, putting signs up, and, you know, having booths at sporting events to get the word out there with drawings of, you know, try to get the word out there of what they're trying to do. But it was mentioned at school board that the school board members themselves can't be sitting at the booth campaigning for it. They can't be out putting signs. I'm sure it's their duty to their constituents to answer questions and maybe like have one-on-one conversations, but it was said in their meeting that the school board themselves should not be campaigning, you know, knocking on doors and those kinds of things. I definitely think it's appropriate if someone asks you individually, but like coercing a response or like trying to go out to the people, maybe a
There's a
gray
difference.
area. Yeah.
I mean, because any of the citizens community can ask you questions based
Yeah.
on whatever.
And they should.
Council they, and, you know, and I think it'd be appropriate to answer, but actually go out and campaign,
I'm not,
probably
I'm not gonna, I'll advocate to put it on the ballot, but I'm not gonna advocate to get it passed. I think that's up to the voters. That's just how I look at it. Unless we can do it. If we can do it, we can do it. And I won't be participating in that aspect of it.
yeah.
Okay.
Because
Yeah,
I've
just-
seen others, you know, things in people's yards for vote yes, vote no. But I don't know if that's like a political party doing that, opposed to a local council
Yeah.
or a group.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, I might. Yeah. If you want to, or if I need to reach out to somebody, I can. Because it might be good to have clarity. Because I think to campaign for this ballot issue, I think would be kind of a gray area. But like Kyle and I are both on the building committee, and I think both of us would be willing to sit at a table and talk about the bond issue, which has nothing to do with city council in general, except for this question.
Yeah, they're kind of related.
They're related.
There's separate questions, but they're related.
Yeah. Well, some are gonna be good.
Yeah, I really hadn't thought about that until now.
Yeah.
With the building
Is that something I
committee.
should reach out about, or is that something that you've got contact with?
There's
Email the league.
The league, municipalities,
Yeah.
right, but then
Might
there's the Kansas Governmental Ethics Board too that does a lot with elections.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll try to make a phone call.
Okay.
See what I can find out.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, that's,
If you wanna, I can reach out to.
yeah,
Just let
and
me
if
know.
I get.
Anything else, Danny?
I don't think so.
I guess we got consensus at 90-10, and we'll make sure to get that all reach out.
And I'll send, I'll send Pam a Word version too, so if there's discussion, that resolution needs to be tweaked that night, we can open it up and tweak it.
Okay. Sounds good.
Any other questions for city attorney? Moving on, old business, Fifth Street Road, on White Food Line.
I know we covered it, I think.
Yeah.
We've already covered it. And I read it in Pam's report, there's no
something. for it,
conversation
yeah.
on the fountain.
I'm sorry?
Wasn't there something on the expense sheet about the fountain? I thought there was.
Anybody got any other questions for the fountain? Moving on, new business, I think we covered the 1% tax for schools. Brings us to animal control officer. I think we've got Eric is been our animal control guy. Pam wants to,
I didn't know
Keep him
what
on.
your opinions on keeping him on as an animal control. He does a good job in that aspect. He's very caring for animals. But I
I don't think we're gonna have a lot of other options. It's not a
No.
duty that a lot of people are gonna wanna do, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
yeah.
So
But there's no, I guess I'm not opposed to it, I just wanna make sure there's no exposure based on other things.
We can, when we write out the contract, we'll have to make sure to put the costs in there that, you know, you have to be presentable, professional, or in that language, I guess, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think I read something, he's gonna furnish his own insurance.
Yes, so he's gonna be a 1099 employee, which means if something happened, then his insurance, like he's on his own insurance if there's an accident or anything like that. So
And you
he-
wanted to raise him to $200?
I think it's fair to raise it to 200 since he's gonna be using his own vehicle now, his own gas and everything. Like the city's is not gonna provide anything except the cage to put the animal in because we already have one. The city will still providing food for the dog, you know, like whatever the dog needs. But as far as getting the dog, that's all on him.
Danny, what about, I don't know if you're sort of listening to what's going on. When you say he's gonna have his own insurance, you're just specifically speaking about vehicle. Like what if something happens to the dog? Who's responsible, or whatever? I mean, is that a bond issue?
Well, I guess I was thinking some kind of general liability insurance that
Yeah.
covers.
So I guess we can put it in the contract that say you have to have a general liability.
And I'm just thinking about us, because if we hired him and we didn't have it, then it comes back to us. That's why you're here.
Well, and I mean, if he's, I think if he's, even if he's a contractor working as a city animal control officer and something happens to an animal that's picked up by someone working as a contractor for the city, that's gonna come back to the city. Would be my guess.
Whether he's actually a city employee or he's a 1099 employee, it's
Yeah,
gonna come back.
I think,
on the
cause
city.
I mean, the scope of his duties at that point would be what the city's asking him to do.
Let's get the dog or animal, bring it back here. Then he's responsible for the care
Yes.
after he gets it.
So when he put the animal in the pound, we only keep it for 3 days. So within that 3 days, if the owner pick it up, we're great. If not, then we start adopting the dog out. Or if the dog are not in the condition to where it could be adopted out, then we care for it. You know,
Meaning the
that
person who's,
yes,
taking
the
care of
animal
it.
control, yep. Take me to the vet, or that's how we've been doing it in the past, is he would take the dog to the vet, bring him back and kind of
Okay.
care for him until the dog is healthy enough to be adopted off.
we'll just go with whatever Danny says.
I mean-
I'm more worried about us than,
I guess I can't see it be any different than like if the police officer were to go pick up a dog and then the dog, you know,
Jumped
somehow-
out.
Yeah, and got hurt. I see that as the same, it would be the same scenario, right? Cause he's doing the job the city asked him to do, so is police officer, and if the dog were to get hurt, then that would still be on us regardless of like who's picking up the dog or like.
I think so. It probably wouldn't hurt to ask our insurance carrier
Okay.
if there's something different we need to do.
I mean, I personally don't think 200 is enough if he's furnishing his own insurance and his own vehicle.
That was just something that I
I don't know what the right amount is, but I mean, I think if we write the contract, I think he needs to have $1 million of liability insurance. And I think that's gonna be $50 a month for just general liability on the coverage like that. So, and then you're talking about wear and tear, and he might spend $200 in gas driving around town. Maybe not that much, but
yeah.
How many animals get picked up in a month, do you know?
It's depend. Some months there might be 1, if that. Some months might be 5, especially like 4th of July. I think he got called out like 4 times just that day, you know, but that's special occasion, so it just varies. It's kind of hard to guess.
No, I agree, his insurance will eat up
Yeah.
a good chunk of his $200.
Yeah, and I think 150 was appropriate when he was using all of our equipment and he was already under our insurance and getting benefits, and it was just kind of an extra service. But I don't know what the appropriate amount is. I think 200 is too low.
300?
I mean, what's
Do you think he could get the insurance?
I don't see why he
Um,
can't. I don't know. I mean,
Well, some of those, when it was, he had to have 10,000 in the bank, or
oh,
just,
I mean, I think it would,
you just don't get it and pay a monthly fee. You put your house against it, if you own the house,
okay.
things
Yeah, I
like
don't know
that.
anything about that. I can
Maybe
You
make
need
it
to find out what
$500,000.
insurance.
but like I've got
first.
$500,000 on
Yeah,
my
I
car
agree.
insurance. It'd be general liability and personal injury, and I think that's kind of what you need because he's gonna be driving his vehicle. I think that's just what he needs. So you just have to ask your insurance what that would be.
I think find out what it's gonna cost for insurance, and then you can kind of resettle.
Yeah, come back and talk,
Yeah.
table it and
Price,
talk about it
yeah.
next meeting.
Anybody wanna make a motion to table?
Make a motion to table the animal control officer 1099 possibility until our next council meeting.
Motion on the table by Aaron Raines, here a second?
Second.
Second by Sarah Wolf, all in favor? All opposed, passes 5-0. Brings us down to ordinance 1099-25, and I think that's on the water, isn't it, Pam?
correct.
Do
So,
do we wanna
Are
adopt
we-
that, or?
are we all happy with, huh?
Are we gonna wait till
We're
we
gonna
do
wait
it?
until he speaks to us, or the water
The-
guy?
The water, the only thing that changed on the water is the bulk water rate and taking out the surcharge. So
That's what
that
we're
we
voting
can
on
do,
tonight?
yeah.
Okay.
Greg's only going to come and talk about electric. This one is different.
I
So,
thought you said something about needing to pass at the same time.
Oh, no, that was on the
That was electric.
electric
Okay.
where it
It's
changed the
the,
rates and then it has the net metering,
the net metering are for the wind and solar energy customers. Yep, if you guys don't have any problem with how the ordinance written, and this one is ready to be passed.
We talked about it last meeting, didn't we?
Yes.
Okay.
It's still gonna take effect, the same, if we pass the electric rate in the next week meeting, it's all gonna take effect on the same billing cycle, so.
Anybody wanna make a motion on that, or more discussion? I think we did add the $12 per month. didn't we?
Yes, so
That went from
the
6 to-
capital improvement is updated from 6 to 12. The water surcharge is taken out, and the bulk water is updated by like, I believe 10, 11, and 12. In each step, that's the changes that this morning is going to be, or take effect if you pass it.
We don't need to specify a date on the $12 a month, since that's changing. It would just go into effect as soon as you pass this.
Well, no, it's gonna take effect when the billing, when we do the billing.
Right. But there's not a date, the flat fee of $12 per month to be charged. It should just stated that. And it's under step 1, which would be September 2024.
number 5.
Yeah, maybe should add.
Should it read effective August 1st?
Yeah, I think so. Effective August 1st, 2025, an additional
And then-
lab fee of $12 per month.
You have to make a change on step 2, number 4, about that additional flat fee when that'll be in effect.
No,
I think that's
because
implemented
all of step 2
January 1st.
kicks in January
Okay.
of 28. It's just, yeah, this one.
This one's new as of August 1st.
That is all. What's changing is this one we've got here that expires at 2025. We're added here. This is effective August 1. And then we added the gold water, so it's effective August 1. So I think with that change there.
So do you wanna make that change and then we'll just approve it next week when we have a special meeting?
Or we can approve as amended, or which
Yeah.
would you rather?
Either way, we can.
You got the meeting next week.
Yeah,
can
we just
do
bring
it.
the cleaned up one next week.
Any questions about 1099-25 other than discussed? Brings us to dehumidifier for the nitrate plant. Jason?
I was, got the prices on the dehumidifier at the nitrate plant because the one that's not keeping up, the humidity in there is getting really high and the floors are just getting constantly wet. I was wanting to know if I could get another one in there so we can try to keep it up. I got 3 fans in there blowing constantly, plus the old one's going. I just wanted to see if I can get another one to keep that, try to keep it drier in there.
So you currently have one.
Yes.
Is it the same as what you're proposing, or is it different?
It's the same, it takes the same, with the same filters and everything, except it's just a newer, smaller unit, like everything else. The newer it gets, smaller, the better it gets. And this one, the new one takes 1 filter, where this one takes 2, so we'll, yeah.
So you use this in addition with what you've got, and then when the
Correct.
other one, see how it works, and then there's a possibility we just may need 2 from here on out.
Keep the, slide this one and keep the 2, keep them both going at the same time. During winter, it's not bad at all, but during the summer, when it's humid outside like this, it's just raining in there.
Yeah. You see water everywhere.
How long does this one last?
It's still going,
I mean, how long have we had it?
since it was built.
Oh, okay. Do they, where did the money come from?
From the
Do
nitrate.
they have it?
Yeah.
What's the, was there an estimate on freight?
It was free shipping. Dude, it was a 4th of July special is when I seen it. That's why I sat there and threw it there when I went on vacation. I got the pricing with a pick. I hope it's still on there at that same price and free shipping at that cost.
I mean,
45.
not to exceed 45.
Yeah.
I'd make the motion to approve, the purchase of a dehumidifier for the nitrate plant in the amount not to exceed $4,500.
Second.
Got a motion on the table by Aaron Raines and a second by Aaron Gleason and a second by Aaron Raines. All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0. Moving down to Carnival contract.
So, yes, I would like your permission to book the carnival for next year, just so I don't have to fight other city companies that want to book just in case on the same weekends. It's a big holiday weekend. We have an options to customize our rides to add or take out whatever we want when it get closer. Obviously, the price go up the more you add.
Let's have a
Did
quick-
we-
go ahead.
Do we track ticket
That's what I was
sales?
gonna ask.
Did we? It just, I mean, I know we were like selling T-shirts and it was all just at the booth, but.
Yeah, it was, I mean, there's no way that we were gonna even make enough to cover, you know, like.
Wasn't he gonna
function of it.
keep track of something for us to make it, if it was gonna be financially feasible for him to? I thought there was,
Sell tickets.
yeah. I don't remember specifically what.
'Cause I think when you brought it up, they sometimes go to bigger places and then they come for free, but they
Yeah.
collect ticket sales.
Yeah, no, I have not heard back in that aspect of it,
Okay.
so.
I also don't mind if we can do fundraising and pay for it
Yeah.
and allow the kids to ride for $10 or whatever it was. I mean, if they come in and we're trying to make money, it's gonna be $5 a ride or $40 for the wristband, and it's kind of nice that everybody can afford it, for the most part. I mean, if you can
Whatever
stretch
it
it
is.
and make $10 worth to have your kids go on the rides. You know, $40 is like, you know.
I'll have another beer.
Yeah. So.
So how much do you need for half?
87.
87.
What's that?
Where did I see that at?
It's in your report.
So many things I don't remember. 8,892.50 is the half of what we need
In front
to
of you?
sign the contract.
88.92.50.
88.92, yes.
I make a motion to approve the contract with Allison's Fun Incorporated to pay the upfront half cost of $8,892.50.
Second?
Motion on the table by Aaron Gleason, second by Mark Bryant,
No.
Right.
or
Right, yeah.
Raines, Aaron Raines, I apologize.
That's fine.
All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0.
Real quick question, Pam.
Yes.
Are these the rides that you're looking to schedule?
As of right now, yes.
Oh, okay,
It's
good.
based on last year.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
this year, not last year, this year.
Oh,
That's
good.
what we had this year. I keep saying that.
It will be last year when they come.
Yeah.
I make a motion to go into executive session to include the table,
And the department heads.
the both department heads,
Yeah.
and both department heads for 10 minutes.
Motion on the table by Aaron Gleason,
Second?
and a second by Aaron Raines. Any more discussion? Going into executive session, all in
We'll
favor?
vote it.
All
Okay.
opposed? Passes 5-0. Out of executive session, call regular council meeting back to order.
Do you want to go back
You
in?
go back?
It's up to you guys.
Make a motion.
Do we talk about Curtis?
Yes, we still need to talk about
Yeah.
Curtis.
I'd make a motion to go into executive session to discuss non-elected personnel with the table and department heads of street and electricity to return at 8:14, 5 minutes.
5 minutes here.
Second.
Got a motion on the table and a second to go into executive session for 5 minutes. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0. Call regular council meeting back to order from executive session.
I'd make a motion, based on our executive session and current evaluations, to increase Curtis Smith, his salary to $80,000 per year.
Second.
Got a motion on the table by Aaron Gleason, a second by Mark Bryant. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0.
I'd make a motion based on current evaluation of Brian Balderrama to increase his hourly wage to $23 per hour.
Second.
Motion on the table by Aaron Gleason and second by Mark Bryant. Any more discussion? All in favor? Passes 5-0.
I'd make a motion based on the 6-month probation period review of Jerry Curry in Public Works to increase his wage to $18 per hour.
Motion on the table by Aaron Gleason
Second.
and a second by Mark Bryant. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0.
I'd make a motion based on the 6-month probation period review of Michael Craven, Public Works, to increase his hourly wage to $17.50 per hour.
Second.
Motion on the table by Aaron Gleason, a second by Mark Bryant. Any more discussion? All in favor? Passes 5-0.
Keep going.
I make a motion to adjourn regular council meeting July 15th, 2025.
Second.
Motion on the table by Aaron Gleason and second by Aaron Raines. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed?